Hi, I'm Venus O'Hara and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about how to use sex toys. I woke up this morning and I received a very interesting email from one of my followers, and she told me all about her orgasmic journey. And I'm really grateful when people actually contact me and they tell me such intimate details of their lives, because I feel really flattered, because I imagine that these people might not have told such intimate things to people in their lives maybe. And it also inspires me to keep going. So, I mean, being a sex toy tester might sound amazing, which it is, of course, but there are a lot of challenges that I face every day, especially in my personal life, with having this type of job, and it's not been easy. But I know in my heart that raising orgasmic awareness is a very valid cause. So when I get messages from people like this, I just feel very inspired to keep on going. So if you have a question about sex toys or orgasm, masturbation, don't hesitate to write to me at venus@venusohara.org. And I might not be able to engage in much personal correspondence, but I might make a video, because I'm always looking for topics as well, and so we can help each other and make the world more orgasmic. Okay, so this is the question I was asked. Let me see. Could you make a video on how to use sex toys? I know it's a weird request, but I realise that I'm still really inexperienced with masturbation overall. As a sex toy tester, I'm sure you get sometimes tired of the old way and change things up, etc. I'm just curious of your experience. Are you always lying down on a bed, or maybe you're in a different position? Do you go straight to the point or start using the sex toy somewhere else? Are you using fantasies, or are you focusing on the feeling? Okay, a lot of questions there. And I think it's a really valid question, because I think when people buy a sex toy, they have very high expectations, especially if they've seen a review and they're like, oh wow, it really works, it's amazing. It happened to me. I heard amazing things about the Rabbit, and I bought one with a friend she was actually my flatmate. We both went back home, and she went to her bedroom, I went to my bedroom, and even though it had been my idea to buy these sex toys, I just came out after a while like, oh, didn't know what to do with it almost. Well, I knew what to do with it, but she came out of her room hours later and was like, wow, it's amazing. And it took me several months to actually get how to use it. And what was lacking was this mind-body connection. Of course, everyone's different. Everyone has different ways of stimulating themselves. I mean, some people might want to watch porn or something erotic visually, let's say, whereas other people might like reading something and then replaying fantasy in their minds later. And I think you can even get a lot of erotic fantasies from everyday interactions. I mean, I think everything has potential erotic, I don't know, everything has erotic potential, yeah. So yeah, for me personally, my masturbation techniques have evolved over the years. At first, I mean, I became a sex toy tester because I was really into sex toys, quite obsessive. I was quite obsessed about them when I first discovered my orgasmic independence. And I remember I was kind of like almost addicted to masturbation. I would say sometimes I was masturbating up to 6 times a day, which is really excessive, but maybe 4 times, 3-4 times might have been normal for me a few years ago, when I wasn't even getting paid for it. I mean, wow. Yeah, so I was just really into it, and I spent so much money on batteries. Yeah, it was incredible. And I remember back then I used to have, I still have the same repertoire of fantasies, and I was just basically lying down and putting the toy right on my clitoris and just really concentrating on my fantasy, almost like a race to get there. So yeah, it might have taken me about 10 minutes on average each time. So if I was really up for it, it could have been 5, or if I wanted to replay the fantasy hold off, it could have been 15. So that was about it, really. And then I also had a very interesting BDSM relationship, which involved cyber sex. And I remember any time I had to test a toy I got horny, I told all of my fantasies actually, those and especially those triggers that make me come in during the fantasies. And he actually told me my fantasies like he was reading a story to me, and he was watching me as well. So I had the added bonus of feeling like someone was watching me, as well as hearing my fantasy being told to me. And sometimes when he got things wrong, and there were certain details like what I was wearing, or who the other person was, or the location of the particular fantasy, that I told him when we started a Skype session, let's say, and then he would kind of get some details wrong. I'm like, no, I wasn't wearing that, and I'd kind of correct him and then get back into the zone. So I did that for a few years, and that was really, really horny. That was really fun. And sometimes I would kind of wait around until he was available so he could tell me a fantasy rather than just doing it on my own. I enjoyed that extra thing of having someone watching it as well, who wasn't actually there. You know, didn't have to actually engage in any conversation after. It was just kind of nice to still be in my space. And so I was really focused on the physiological pleasure of it, really. Fantasies, made a lot of fetish fantasies. And the question of, I was lying down face up, and I found sometimes, I don't know why, but I was lying on my left side helped a lot, or just kind of happened. So that was always more orgasmic, but then it's basically been lying down face up. I don't know why, but I can't really reach orgasm face down, not even with a person. It's just, I don't know why. Maybe I need to change it up a little bit. And what else did you say? What was the question? And then I'm going to tell you about masturbation now. I'll put my tea down because it's still hot. So my masturbation techniques now are very, very, very different. For example, I've talked about this in many videos. I've been going through a very profound spiritual awakening, and this has affected all areas of my life, and in particular my sexuality and how I'm masturbating. For example, now I want to use masturbation as a meditation, really. It is kind of a meditation. It's like meditative process for me, and I use it to do visualizing my goals, imagining that I already have them. So I have a very highly developed fantasy, erotic mind, let's say. So now I've been learning how to incorporate the things I want in life into my fantasies, and not just sexually. I'm talking very non-sexual things. So now I'm listening to binaural beats. If you don't know what binaural beats are, I don't think I'm qualified enough to talk about them, but what it is basically is it's very chilled out music that has certain frequencies, and it can enhance or provoke different mental, physical states, and different frequencies can provoke different things. And I'm going to leave a link in the description below with information about binaural beats, and then a channel on YouTube that I listen to a lot. So I'm listening to this music that's very, very relaxing, and it's almost like, it's like sound therapy basically. And to get the greatest benefits of this, it's best to wear headphones. So this music takes me onto a completely different dimension, and before I begin my session, I always think about an intention. So yeah, I have certain intentions. And last year, for example, I discovered this way of masturbation. I remember I focused on 3 different intentions, and not necessarily goals. I don't really believe in goals, that things you have to tick off, because if you don't reach those goals, you might be disappointed and you don't know if that's on your path. So I believe in having an intention, which is like an ongoing goal, really. So I was thinking about 3 particular things that were quite personal to me, and so I had lots of masturbation and visualizing these things in my fantasy. And this takes a long time because you have to kind of stimulate yourself as well as truly visualizing whatever it is that you want to achieve in your life. So that takes some, and you can get lost in the process as well. So yeah, it takes a lot of concentration. So that's my current, and so now I think to reach an orgasm it might take me half an hour. So it's a lot longer, but I'm doing it a lot less frequently. So for me now I have a completely different philosophy on orgasm and everything. I think having an orgasm just for sexual release is almost a waste of energy. Speaking for myself, obviously everyone can do what they like, but that's how I feel about it right now. I want to use masturbation to access a higher state of consciousness, to reach enlightenment, and just to have a frivolous orgasm doesn't feel right for me right now. So yeah, I'm using and also I also use orgasm for therapeutic purposes as well. For example, if I can't sleep, then I would use it as a muscle relaxant, and also fantasizing, etc. would also distract my mind from whatever it is that's worrying me. But I'm always doing this technique of visualization, not always with the music, but definitely closing my eyes, face up, and whatever toy it is just straight on the clitoris or wherever it's supposed to be. So yeah, I don't really bother with using toys on other parts of the body at first. It's just yeah, just get straight to the clitoris really. Obviously if I was with a partner, then I would use a wand massage, as I absolutely love using with a partner, all over my body. But if I want to reach an orgasm or masturbate, then it's just straight to the point. And let's see if I missed out on anything there. Straight to the point. Yeah, and you asked about focusing on the feeling. I wanted to talk about that as well, because there are certain sex toys that I've found that are so powerful that I haven't even, the sensation has distracted me from whatever fantasy it was. And those toys were Womanizer, not Satisfier, but definitely Womanizer, because it seems more intense. It can potentially be more intense, and some wand massages as well. I remember the first time I had an orgasm with Womanizer, and it was just like, oh my god, I'm not even thinking about anything. And I remember I was actually on a Skype call with the person who used to tell me all these stories, and he just could not believe it. I was just there, and then my legs just started spasming, and I felt almost like I wasn't part of it, which it was a strange experience. So yeah, that was pure sensation. And also with wand massages, I like the big flat surface on the vulva. I think it can really wake up that area, and just thinking, wow, it just feels so good. You can't even think of, you don't need the fantasy as much to accelerate the sensations. So yeah, but I think it's good to have a combination of all of these things as well, and just think about the pleasure, physical pleasure, and also kind of act out your fantasies in your mind while you touch yourself. Yeah, I've made another video called How to Have an Orgasm, and I talk about how to use sex toys in more depth there. And anyway, so hope you've enjoyed this video, and see you next time.